Hello and all, welcome back to more Let's Play Danganronpa 2. I am the Max of your trades. Byakuya Togami was killed. The blue hue of our vacation is now a crimson red. Is the killer really one of us, or is it someone else? The class trial starts now. And that's actually pretty much the most perfect previously on segment I could ask for, so I don't even need to go any further. Alright, now, I was wondering if I could take a quick look at my truth bullets, if it's all the same with you. Yes, okay, we've got the Monokuma file, we've got the Kniff, we've got the bloodstain under the tables, we've got gaps in the floorboards, we got the AC timer, night vision goggles, embarrassing pose for some reason, I don't know why that's there, the case, Ibuki's account, the irons, the tablecloth, Teru, the food, the fire door, the kitchen equipment, Chiaki's account, murder threat, Kazuichi's account, the autopsy. Alright, so really, honestly, it can only be one of two possible people. And while at first I legitimately believed it had to have been Nagito, as everything about it lined up so much, the late game arrival of the fact that the murder weapon couldn't have been the knife that was attached to the table implies to me that it physically could not have been Nagito, which means even though I strongly felt like all of his motivations and evidence supported that idea a whole lot more, I'm gonna have to go with my backup strategy of thinking it's Teru. Because he's literally the only person that it could be. Because you gotta realize there was the whole, his convenient excuse of bumbling into the dining hall to say something and then leaving. That doesn't make any sense. Then you got the idea that the murder weapon is probably the iron skewer, because it's, you know, thin, long, and missing from all of the tools. So, and who would have the best odds of not only having that, but being able to hide said thing, you know? So the only real thing I don't have is, I don't know where the murder weapon ended up. So that's a bit of a problem. And I suppose we'll get to it when we get to it. I imagine we're not going to start by accusing anybody off the bat, so let's just do the best we can. Very quickly, I'm relatively certain I have no skills. Yes, I have no skills. I am completely unqualified for this, but let's do it. Trial, all rise.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys. I did not, in fact, miss having to do this. It's very stressful. Also, I see you hanging out over there.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
The biggest blessing is the fact that I don't have to actually read the dialogue for a while.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person,
everybody dies, we know.
I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
A tantalizing prize, if it's actually true.
Such a cruel rule.
Before we begin, I'd like to confirm one thing. Is there really a killer among us?
I'm gonna go ahead and say probably.
Most definitely. There's no doubt that the blackened is lurking among you.
It's incredibly frustrating how often Monokuma lies, but then you also kind of always know when he isn't.
Such a sad state of affairs, isn't it? By the way, this class trial is gonna be 100% fair, so there's no need to worry.
Can you turn the lightning off from your eyes? It's very distracting.
I'm the type who hates favoritism and prejudice. Well, not as much as I hate Monami, of course.
I believe it.
You hate me that much?
It's not surprising.
Now, let's begin.
You're telling us to begin, but what are we supposed to do?
Are you not paying attention? We need to figure out who done it.
No complaining, let's just settle this with our fists.
You can't punch an argument, as much as I wish we could.
Were you even listening to the rules?
Of course she wasn't.
Didn't that Byakuya bastard get killed in the dining hall, huh? Then everyone there is a fucking suspect.
Not as so. Not as much. Also, forgot how smooth this guy's voice is.
Yeah, what you're really trying to say is that you're not the killer, right?
Well, he's not.
No shit. You guys went off on your own and started killing each other. This has nothing to do with me.
Huh? What does that mean?
It means that it has nothing to do with him. Mahiru, I'm on your side, but at the same time, I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean.
Anyway, why don't we try talking about the most pressing issue on our minds?
What would that be?
Huh. The most pressing issue on our minds?
Pointing fingers recklessly.
Where we found the body. It's very strange to find a body underneath a table.
Now, right. I guess we need to work our way up to the actual accusations. We need to iron out every possible conceivable detail first. Ugh, everybody has to be so far behind us, and that's so frustrating.
Then, let's start with that mystery.
I can answer it. The reason why Byakuya's body was discovered under the dining hall table. We could start with that, but ultimately, we need to find out who murdered him. If we can't do that, well, then we're completely out of luck. No, thinking about if is a waste of time. It's kind of cool, actually. Much like Makoto from before, I'm not used to actually seeing Hajime from this angle. So it's actually kind of cool seeing his reactions to stuff. We have to do this, no matter what. So the class trial has finally started. From this point on, I will provide simple tutorials at every important moment. Oh, joy among joys. I'm sorry, but please excuse my ear-tainting rudeness. As things progress during each class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, all of your classmates will speak one after the other without any breaks. It's up to you to reveal any lies or mistakes contained with their statements. This means you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Out of all the truth bullets you find during your investigation, only the relevant ones will be loaded into the truth cylinder. It's really more of a just kind of do it by action, because explaining it sounds weird, but once you actually see everything in motion, it makes sense. Use the mouse to move the reticle, then fire with the left mouse button. Pay close attention to each character's statements, and choose your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Now that if you run out of time, you will automatically fail, so hey, no pressure, but time limit. If you press the escape key during the arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun. As much fun as anybody could possibly have in a given situation, I suppose. All right, the kniff, the bloodstain under the table, and gaps in the floorboard. All right. Not sure which one of these is gonna be what I need. Let's find out.
Why was Byakuya's body in a place like that?
Good question.
His body was underneath the table
It's true, it's true.
at the very back of the dining hall.
Indeed, indeed.
After the killer murdered Byakuya, they probably moved the body there.
Ah, okay. I already know what I gotta do.
Huh? Why?
I already got it.
Obviously by hiding the body. They tried to delay its discovery.
That would make sense in some aspects.
Dog burying a bone.
Odd metaphor, but you're not entirely wrong. All right, so I've got this. What he just said was strange. It clearly contradicts the information I know. I didn't have
Why
it
was
set.
Byakuya's
Okay,
body
that's to slow it down. How
in
do
a
I
place like that?
His body was
speed it up? That's how you do it.
After the killer murdered Byakuya, they probably moved the body there.
Nay!
No, that's wrong.
My little hair thingy is all wiggly wiggly all up in this place. It's a lie detector.
No, I don't think the killer moved the body.
It would have been completely impossible.
Huh? Why?
Well, even if there wasn't the whole stain issue, there's the fact that we would have definitely heard someone move that.
Try to remember what the body looked like when we found it under the table.
All murdered.
There was a lot of blood everywhere. There was no sign the killer actually dragged the body through it.
Nope, everything that happened seemed to happen under the table.
So that's why you think it's impossible that the killer moved the body. I see. I get your point.
Appreciate it.
And here I thought I had a genius idea.
It's okay, this is the first trial. We're all getting our bearings. I'm not gonna hold that one against you.
Too bad you're so stupid and boring and unpopular. Your life is meaningless.
You grew up being criticized a lot, haven't you, Hiyoko? That's pretty much the only explanation I can see for that. Instead of showing you malice, I'm going to show you sympathy. I can already tell you have not led a great life if this is the way you choose to express yourself, and I'm deeply sorry that it's come to this.
I respond better to praise, you know.
Well, then you better start coming up with better ideas.
But if the killer didn't move the body, why was it under the table?
Because that's where it was murdered.
Byakuya was probably killed under the table.
Makes the only amount of sense that we could get.
What? You think he was killed under the table?
That is what I think. Thank you for stating that.
So Byakuya snuck under the table for reasons unknown. And that's when he was killed.
The reasons aren't unknown, I just haven't told you yet.
Then, shortly thereafter, we found his body under the table.
Yeah.
That does make sense, but why did he go under the table?
I will gladly explain you a thing.
Obviously, he was hiding so he could surprise us.
That dude was always a big jokester.
Akane, I don't think you've been paying attention to much of anything. Just because you're adorable doesn't mean you can get away with not paying attention.
The hell he was? You seriously couldn't tell what kind of person he was?
She was mostly focused on eating during all of the major gatherings.
Maybe he panicked during the blackout and dove under the table.
I mean, that actually isn't impossible to believe, but no.
It's a blackout, not an earthquake. Just because the power went out doesn't mean he'd dive under the table.
Well retorted.
The reason why is probably connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, don't you think?
Ah, the reason Byakuya dove under the table. If it's connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, then it's possible. Oh, okay. What he was doing. Well, he was monitoring the things. Do I have the other case? No, I do not. Okay, well, what he was doing was monitoring the situation. And I feel like the thing that I've got the best exemplifies that would be the case full of security stuff. So, yes? This may sound presumptuous, but I think that's wrong. Okay, so apparently no. Dove under the table. If it's connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, then it's probably okay. Now this is a problem. I don't have that much time. Oh, crap cakes. I'm completely out of practice and now I'm panicking. Oh, nuts. Oh, butts. Oh, no. Okay, under the table where the body was discovered. Which one of these things would be the thing? If it's related to what he was doing, okay, well, then what he was doing was he was monitoring the situation. He was holding security for everybody involved. He was probably put on the night vision goggles so he could see, and then he saw things if he was under the table, so then maybe it was because it's covered in glowing paint, so maybe it's because he saw the knife?
I can prove it with this.
Oh, thank goodness. I don't know how I would have been able to deal with getting that wrong twice. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Sorry, everybody, sorry. I have to get back into the swing of things.
Knife? Oh, you mean that thing that obviously screams, I am the murder weapon!
It very much does. Admittedly, I thought the exact same thing for the longest period of time. But nay.
Byakuya probably noticed the knife was hidden there.
Which I'm probably going to have to bring up the paint.
So in order to get it, he moved under the table.
He was particularly sensitive to the presence of dangerous items, so I cannot deny that possibility.
But
how did he notice that there was a knife under the table?
you couldn't see me, but I poked my temple with my finger knowingly.
If he knew beforehand, he probably would have done something about it before the blackout, right?
Indeed.
Then, instead of knowing about it beforehand, maybe he saw it right at that moment.
Yeah.
Like, for example, he might have seen someone trying to take the knife out from under the table.
No, that's not possible.
Explain!
What? You seem rather confident about that.
Especially considering you weren't even in the room in the first place.
Of course. I have proof to back me up.
I'm listening.
This is almost like a real trial.
Wasn't that exact line said in the first trial of the first game? During the previous statement, there was only one weak spot, but from this point on, there will be various weak spots standing in your way. No matter how many weak spots there are, there will only be one lie or contradiction in the debate at a time. This means that there will be false weak spots. You shoot a false weak spot with a truth bullet, not only will you fail to refute what was said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage, and no one will listen to you because you're just a raving lunatic. If your influence gauge reaches 0, you will fail, so please be extra careful. You have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or mistakes. Also, if you concentrate by holding the space key, you can progress the argument slowly. Please use it whenever you feel like the statements are moving too fast for you to aim. However, this does consume the focus gauge, so, pay attention to that. Press the escape key, you can review the controls. Good luck, have fun. Bada bing, bada boom, bada ba ba bow. Let's go, come on. Knife, bloodstain, gaps in the floorboard, AC timer, night vision goggles. No. Well, let's see what we got here.
I'm sure Byakuya ducked under the table
Because?
during the blackout.
Yes.
That sounds correct.
Not a contradiction.
If that's the case,
What is the case?
during the blackout, hands.
Forgot you named him that.
Must have seen the killer take the knife.
Okay.
But it was super pitch black.
It's true.
It was so dark I couldn't see my food.
And you have eyes only for food.
Byakuya couldn't see in the dark either.
Lies and slander!
No, that's wrong.
Everyone knows Byakuya had superpowers. I mean, goggles.
No, Byakuya was probably the only one who was able to see in the dark.
Haha!
Why do you say that?
Although, admittedly, Peko, you wouldn't even know about this item in the first place, so I'm not gonna actually give you any crap for this.
He was using those night vision goggles we found under the table. He could have seen what was happening.
Yeah. The lights went out. First thing he did, grab the goggles.
So, are you saying Byakuya was the one who used those night vision goggles?
I mean, it would make sense. They were in his case, and it's not like anybody else could have snuck them in.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Your reasoning is out of focus.
Excusez-moi? Also, what?
No, that's obviously wrong. It should be the other way around.
Okay, this is new.
Other way around?
Seriously? The killer used those night vision goggles, not Byakuya.
What makes you think that? Also, what's happening? Were you surprised by Mahiru's sudden argument? More than a little, yes. Just between you and me, I was also surprised. Egads, even green text is shocked. Just kidding, I'm sorry. I forgive you this time, but do not betray my trust again. Now then, when this kind of argument surfaces, you will go into a one-on-one debate called Rebuttal Showdown. In this mode, you have to counter the other person's claim, draw out their weak spots, and argue against them. Please counter the other person's remarks with the WASD keys? Based on the shape of their remarks, it's important to know whether to cut vertically, sideways, or diagonally. What are you asking me to do? And based on that, you can skew the debate's mood to your advantage. On the other hand, if you ignore the other person's remarks, it'll skew toward their advantage. In the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, a number that shows the sharpness of your counter is displayed. This is the number of times you can cut remarks during one round of the debate. I have no idea what I'm doing. You'll lose count of sharpness even if you miss, so please be very careful. When the mood skews to your advantage for a certain length of time, the other party's argument changes. This means the conversation will develop. If that happens, they will end up divulging some weak spots. However, you cannot normally cut remarks that contain weak spots. Instead, it will skew the mood toward the other party's advantage, plus it's going to be very big. Just like a regular debate, please refute any weak spots with the left mouse button. Of course, if you don't have the correct truth blade, you will not be able to cut an opponent's remark. What's a truth blade? I'm terribly sorry. It appears there has been a delay in contacting you. I will make sure the person in charge of contacting you takes a very long vacation. I think the green text is going to murder someone. In this mode, truth bullets will be called truth blades. That's about it. There won't be any other changes to your handbook menu. Only the name was changed, but don't you think a change in feeling is important? All that did was confuse me more. If you press the escape key, you get the controls. Well, then good luck and have fun. Okay. I have no idea what I'm doing. Knife. Well, I'm guessing it's gonna be the case. Yeah.
If you just use comments, the killer obviously used those night vision goggles. That's gotta be it.
Okay.
Where's your proof that the killer used them?
Yeah.
Because if they used night vision goggles, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. And in reality, that's so those goggles were planned in advance. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
Okay. I found a hole in your argument. I'm sure Byakuya brought the night vision goggles. I need to refute Mahiru's claim with evidence. Oh, okay. So I saw it and I need to... Okay, I get it.
Then they could have killed Byakuya even in the... in reality, so those goggles were planned. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
Okay.
Allow me to cut through those words.
Okay, that wasn't nearly as horribly confusing as I thought it was.
No, Byakuya was definitely the one who brought those night vision goggles.
They need to really needed to reword all of their tutorials. My goodness.
Definitely? But why?
Because of where they came from.
Inside the Duralumin case Byakuya had with him during the party,
Duralumin. Duralumin. I'm still not even gonna try.
we found a smaller case for storing the night vision goggles.
Which means we can assume that the night vision goggles were kept inside that Duralumin case as well.
Seems logical to me.
Woohoo! I said assume. Ibuki never uses such clever language.
Ibuki, now is not the time to be adorable. Knock that off.
Plus, Byakuya was the only one who could have taken the night vision goggles out of the case, since he was carrying it around before the blackout in the first place.
Boom!
I see. When you put it like that, it makes sense.
I have defeated you!
Then, was that knife inside the case too?
Nay!
If there were night vision goggles inside, it wouldn't be weird for a knife to be in there too.
Well, I mean, in one hand, I suppose, but it was specifically a case full of security equipment.
It would be weird.
Yeah.
I weird, aren't I? At times like this, I'd rather be fantasizing about tonight's main dish.
That feels like a euphemism. I'm going to assume that it is.
Ooh, you totally mean that in a perverted way.
Now look what you've gone and done. You got me syncing up with Hiyoko of all people. The knife was brought in the case along with the night vision goggles too? No, that's not possible. The knife was hidden in the dining hall before the party even started. I should be able to prove it. With the duct tape.
I see.
Why must the thing on my head wiggle so?
Duct tape left under the table where the body was found. Huh? Duct tape.
The duckiest of all the tapes.
They probably hid the knife by duct taping it to the underside of the table.
Oh, so that's why we found duct tape there.
And they were both covered in all sorts of stuff because I guess they planned for the darkness.
Though Byakuya was thorough, even he couldn't have noticed a weapon taped to the underside of the table.
I guess he wasn't thorough enough.
This may be off topic, but why was Byakuya acting so paranoid?
Well, probably, even if it wasn't because of the message, I mean, honestly, just in general, it makes sense for him to be paranoid.
Not only did he bring a self-defense kit, but he had night vision goggles inside the case too.
That's true. He went above and beyond, being a little cautious.
True enough, true enough.
Now that you mention it, that applies to the dangerous items he confiscated as well. It's one thing to be a little cautious, but performing a body check is a bit much.
Perhaps.
He probably knew someone was planning to commit a murder.
We do have evidence to support it.
Are you saying he predicted the murder? Could it be? Was he also in possession of the all-seeing eye?
I mean, if anybody did, it would probably be him, but no.
You think so too, right, Hajime?
I don't know why you gotta be passing the ball to me, but yes. That's right. He probably did know about the possibility that a murder would occur. Okay, okay. After our first mistake, we're doing a lot better now. Also, wrong button on Dum Dum.
I can prove it with this.
And my weird head thing!
Everyone, can you please take a look at this?
I found it! The first kill will happen tonight. Someone will definitely kill someone.
Hey, the hell is this?
What's it look like?
Hajime and I found this in Byakuya's cottage.
And yes, it's true, we broke in, but it was important to have, evidently.
It looks like a threatening letter someone sent to him.
So, who's the someone?
That I actually cannot prove.
Nobody besides Monokuma would write such a dumb, threatening letter like that.
Well, it's nice to see that you don't think anybody around here would have done it.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been.
Are you sure?
Relatively.
The only lies I tell are friendly lies.
Literally nothing about you is friendly. End of discussion.
Those are still lies. Doesn't matter who wrote it yet. So, Byakuya became paranoid because of this threatening letter?
I feel most would.
He probably decided to throw a party because of the letter. What do you mean? By gathering everyone in one place, he tried to create a situation where everyone could keep tabs on each other.
You know, despite everything, all of that evidence pointing towards Nagito still exists. And I can't see how who I think might have actually done it, Teru, I don't see how any of that stuff could be passed over to him. So, I'm curious as to how that's gonna work. Like, am I imagining things? Is it all part of one person? Am I getting a bunch of red herrings? I'm confused.
In doing so, he tried to put the writer of the letter in a situation where he couldn't act.
But the letter might have been just a little prank.
Yeah, well, what's the You really want to roll the dice on that? Someone ended up getting killed.
As long as he was determined not to let any of us die, he couldn't take that risk. His strong sense of responsibility made him believe the letter was legitimate.
He should have told us he received a threatening letter.
That would have just made everybody get all spookified.
If he had, we would have panicked. Byakuya probably knew that too.
Or at the very least, a majority of you would.
So, he tried to do something about it without telling anyone? I see. A strong sense of responsibility as our leader was his undoing.
That is very ironic.
Screw that noise. Who the hell wrote that letter?
Save your fury. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Well, obviously, the killer.
The killer. I am shocked and appalled by this. Is it really one of us? Who is it among us? Who's the one who killed Byakuya?
Enough
already! Show yourself, you coward!
Boy, howdy, would I like that to be a thing that works.
If they were willing to come forward, they never would have committed a murder in the first place.
She's got a point. But I still can't believe it. Someone in this room killed Byakuya. There's no way I can believe that yet. Well, we're gonna have to eventually, dude, so you might as well get used to it now.
Pardon me. Can I say something, please?
Yes, you may. Also, I have a theory that in 3, 2, 1,
What is it, Miss Sonia?
kinda figured it would be you that would respond.
I regret that I must return to this topic, but I just realized something concerning the night vision goggles.
What would that be?
If Byakuya was indeed wearing those goggles, how did the killer manage to navigate in the dark?
Ah, I actually do have a theory about that.
You're right. They wouldn't have been able to see anything without the night vision goggles.
The game made such a big honkin' deal out of it. And actually, can I look at my truth bullets real quick? It would be towards the bottom, I would guess. Somewhere in here. Somewhere. Storage. No? It's not in here? Oh, I was kind of hoping I would be able to see that floor plan sketch that Mahiru made. Well, regardless, I think it all lines up, but I guess this is all just a red herring?
But if the murderer had the goggles when they took the knife, then how did Byakuya see them?
Even if the knife bore some sort of mark, it would have been difficult to see it in that darkness.
Glowy, glowy paint! We have yet to actually establish that the paint is glowy. We've only established that it is duct tape. No, the killer definitely used a mark. And because of this mark, the killer was able to get the knife from under the table. It was the glowy paint!
See,
My lie detector thingy is going
what
off.
if the glowing paint was the mark? With that, you'd be able to get the knife even in the dark.
Yeah.
In actuality, the knife we found under the table and the duct tape stuck to the underside of the table were both marked with glowing paint, right?
That they be?
Does that mean the killer painted them in advance?
The only thing that would make any sense.
But painting them with glowing paint? It's as if they knew the blackout was going to happen.
Yeah, apparently they did.
They had to have already known. That's why they used the glowing paint as a mark.
And I have evidence that the blackout was totally planned, so we'll get into that soon.
Which means whoever set up the blackout is the killer.
I mean, it's a safe assumption.
That seals it. The killer is whoever was in the office with the circuit breaker.
That is, in fact, not where we're going with that, but I suppose I need to, I have to unveil the secrets of that.
Which means it was you, Pekoyama!
Echo killed poor Byakuya? Was this island not big enough for 2 glasses wearers?
Okay, that came dangerously close to making me cough up water. I was drinking water as you said that. But no, I sincerely doubt that she is the culprit.
Not the killer.
I agree.
Oh, I guess she's not.
Akane! Agreeing for not the right reason, but ultimately still correct.
How can you believe her so easily?
Well, she said she didn't.
But with Echo's height, I don't think she'd be able to reach the circuit breaker in the office.
Are we going to accuse her of using her sword for this?
I don't care about a technicality like that. Peko's the one who tripped the breaker and caused the blackout.
I don't care if there's actually a reason why that makes no sense. I refuse to believe you. By tripping the breaker directly from the office, Peko was the one who caused the blackout. Is that really what happened? I don't think so. Oh, after this debate, blue-colored weak spots will start appearing. If we call the weak spots you've seen up until now argue spots, the blue-colored weak spots will be called agree spots. When shooting agree spots with truth bullets, you need to flip your way of thinking. Instead of arguing that the other person's testimony contains lies or mistakes, please fire the truth bullets that prove the other person's testimony is correct. Oh, that's actually really clever. It makes it so other characters can be right about things and not just have me shoot every single conceivable argument they make down and constantly make them look dumb. That's a really good idea. When your truth bullets merge with their weaknesses, it will become a logically sound agreement. Isn't it a little hot in here? Well, yes, but that's because I closed my doors to the office so that my air conditioner doesn't get picked up on the microphone. From now on, we must infer whether it's best to argue or agree based on what's being debated. If you press the escape key, okay, well, considering we're introducing the concept here, I guess I'm gonna have to agree with somebody. All right, what are my bullets? The accounts, yeah, oh, great, 3 separate accounts. Well, if it's involving Peko, then I'm guessing probably Nekomaru.
Since Peko was in the office,
What do we got?
she could have caused the blackout at any time.
Nah, I don't agree to that.
It's impossible. Huh? Why is it impossible?
No, she's gonna get embarrassed.
Because I was not in the office.
That's suspicious.
Not even before the blackout.
What happened to your guard duty?
Sorry. Oh, you weren't in the office? That's clearly a desperate excuse.
Indeed. Okay, okay. Just from listening to Pecco's testimony, it's not weird to doubt her, but I feel like I spoke to someone during the investigation who totally backs up her testimony. Okay, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that that's the testimony that actually is helpful. I don't want to use it if it's not actually the case. Okay, so during the search for Byakuya after the blackout, Kazuichi headed straight to the office. Can I see him? He didn't see anyone there, including Pecco. That doesn't help us. Okay, then Nekomaru kept trying to use the bathroom since before the party started, but someone was using it the whole time. He was able to enter the bathroom after Byakuya's body was discovered. Okay, and I believe the other one would be Chiaki. When Chiaki was standing guard, Fukiko apparently came to the old building and walked away. Okay, so then yes, I believe that is the correct one.
Since Pecco
Just
was
making
in the
sure.
office,
Yep, that must be the case.
She could have caused up.
That's impossible. Huh? Why is it impossible?
All right, come on. Here we go. Here we go.
Because I was not in the office. Not even before the blackout.
I agree with that. No, I think Pecco is telling the truth.
Let me explain you a thing.
don't tell me you're crushing on Pecco.
Regardless of if I am or not, that just does not affect the point that... Shut up, she's right.
It's nothing like that at all. Nekomaru's account is actually Pecco's alibi.
Which is weird, because it's a really gross account. I'm trying to use it many times, but the door just won't open at all.
It's true. Someone was occupying the bathroom for a long time shortly after the party started. And it was finally freed up after Byakuya's body was discovered.
So, allow me to just apologize in advance for, like, the third time, Pecco, because I know you're not going to really want people to know about this.
Then the person who was in the bathroom that whole time was actually...
Everyone else besides Pecco was in the dining hall after the party started, right?
Yeah.
I see. So there's no way anybody else could have locked themselves in the bathroom except Pecco.
Because she was having herself a bit of distress.
I guess that would be true.
Oh, you poor soul.
You locked yourself in the commode? You should have said so earlier.
Well, it's rather embarrassing.
There's no way she'd actually say that. Gosh, you're so insensitive.
Gonna have to go with Mahiru on this one.
She locked herself in the bathroom for that long? There's no doubt. It's shit.
There are so many better ways to phrase that.
Oh, there's no way she'd admit it. There's no way she'd admit she was taking a shit.
Thank you, Nekomaru.
Hey, weren't you guys taught any basic manners, or were you raised in a locker room?
A few of them might have.
I'm sorry.
Okay, well, he apologized. I'll accept it.
It's fine. How about we stop talking about this and move on to something else?
I'm totally down with that now that we've cleared her up.
Don't worry. The smell wasn't that strong. I used the bathroom right after you, so you can trust me.
Your attempts at assurance are only going to mortify further.
I said it's fine.
Poor girl.
But still, you were in the bathroom for a really long time. Did you get food poisoning or something?
That is interesting. The only but that doesn't... That would imply that the food was either no good or... or laced with something, but that doesn't really make any sense in either aspect because Akane ate a ton of the stuff and she didn't have to go to the bathroom as far as we know.
As soon as I stepped into the office, I felt this sudden rush of pain in my stomach.
I mean, I've been there. There's absolutely no justifiable explanation for why you suddenly have to really go, and it just kind of happens, so it's possible it was just coincidental.
Because of that, I was unable to leave the bathroom, including when the blackout occurred.
That's an extraordinarily distressing place to be in a blackout.
Hey, how did it feel to do your business in the dark? Did you get excited?
It took every fiber of my being to not immediately skip through that, and I want you all to be very happy and appreciative of that fact that I didn't.
Seriously, stop it.
Insert clip here.
But still, your stomach pain.
Was that really just a coincidence?
I mean, it's possible. I don't really see how it couldn't be.
Hey, what's the deal? Don't butt into other people's business, especially if you didn't do any investigating.
Why do you constantly have to agitate the man?
I'm only butting in because you fucking idiots are out of your element.
For the most part, that is true.
Stop this childish nonsense. Just what do you mean by coincidence?
My soft-served hairstyle demands answers.
What I mean is it possible someone slipped her some laxatives?
Laxatives?
Yes, otherwise known as medical-induced poops.
If so, the killer could have tripped the breaker as soon as that girl left the office, don't you think?
I suppose that is fair, but again, Akane ate so much of it.
I see. That might have happened.
You would know that it wouldn't. The question is whether Pecco's stomachache was a coincidence or if someone intentionally caused it. Depending on the answer, the outcome of this trial could change drastically. All right. Let's see, what are we rolling with? The knife, the timer, the goggles, embarrassing pose, party dishes. Well, it's gotta be the party dishes,
Did you eat anything weird?
if anything. Unless I have to
Wasn't
agree.
eating anything weird.
Now that you mention it, you brought food to the office, right?
Yeah, she did. That she did.
Just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
Nice.
Taro cooked the food. How suspicious.
I wouldn't do anything like that. Laxatives would ruin the taste.
That is true. Okay, oh boy, I am not feeling super duper proud and, oh boy. Oh, I might be overthinking things. Okay, someone intentionally caused it. We need to clarify that first.
Did
Okay.
you eat anything weird?
There's literally, this has to be the object.
Remember eating anything
Those other
weird?
things have nothing to do with anything.
Now that you mention it,
Actually, hang on. Can I actually look at what the party dishes thing says? Okay, Teruto poured his heart and soul into cooking various party dishes. However, Akane and Pecco were the only ones who ate them. Okay. It was a disagreement thingy and not an actual thingy, and not an agreement thingy, so. All right.
Just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
No!
No, that's wrong.
Okay. Woo-hoo-hoo. I'm so desperately frantic to not mess things up that I'm
It's
overthinking
impossible
it.
that laxatives were slipped into the food in the dining hall. Because Pekka wasn't the only one who ate that food. Akane ate some of it too.
Okay, so I was right. That is where we're going with this.
If the food had laxatives in it, I'm pretty sure Akane would have had stomach issues as well.
Significantly more, if anything.
I feel totally fine.
I'm sure you do. Comments left unsaid.
I said that the dishes are innocent. Don't go making weird accusations.
You may accuse anyone, but not the food.
I apologize for causing a scene.
It's fine.
Fuyuhiko should apologize, not you. He's the one who made the laxative accusation.
I get the feeling that this is going to lead into something extraordinarily unpleasant.
What the fuck did you say, bitch?
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
cease this bickering.
Authoritative.
Let's just dismiss Pecco's stomachache as a coincidence and go back to discussing the blackout.
Good call.
Yeah. We already know that, you trashy skank. You don't have to tell us.
My goodness. Who hurt you?
Trashy skank?
As long as the murder happened during the blackout, then the blackout itself is what's actually important. So we need to make it clear how the blackout occurred. Oh boy. All right, we got the, I suppose either the ACs or the, irons in the storage room. Yes, all right. Yo, let's see what we can roll with.
Who tripped the breaker and how did they do it?
Indeed, how, who, and where, and why.
Answer that, I'm gonna bop you on the head.
Good luck with that, you're very short.
Did they throw a stone and hit it?
No.
Maybe they used a remote control?
Also not so much.
Probably messed with the breaker.
Maybe?
It does not have to be the breaker. They may have tampered with the power supply and transmitters.
That's,
Or maybe they caused a power surge?
yes?
I agree with that.
Woo! Oh man, that feels great.
It's just as Mahiru said. The blackout was caused by a power surge.
The unbelievable joy I feel when I get these things right is only offset by the soul-crushing sadness I get in every other context of this game.
Of course, that's not a coincidence. Someone caused it intentionally.
Maliciously, in fact.
which is why those 3 irons were arranged to cause the blackout.
Yeah!
When you found them right after the blackout, the irons were still on, right?
Indeed they were!
So by leaving those irons on in the storage room, they deliberately caused a power surge.
Yeah. It seems that's how the killer caused the blackout.
Am I about to be refuted?
Stupid fool!
I was! That was, the ambiguity at the end of the sentence made me feel like it couldn't have been.
Second, let me speak too.
You're more than welcome to.
What the heck?
You say the irons in the storage room were used to trigger the blackout?
I indeed am inferring this.
That's inexcusable!
In what regard? Okay, the AC timer, that's my best guess. Let's roll with
The
that.
irons in the storage room caused the blackout, then for the killer to turn the irons on. You're saying they went all the way to the storage room? And that means everyone who was when the blackout occurred can't be a suspect.
Advance!
No, just because people were in the dining hall doesn't mean they're not a suspect.
Yeah.
But the people in the dining hall weren't able. If the irons come, then the killer had to go to the storage room before and turn on the irons.
Okay.
How do you intend to take back what you said?
Okay. I saw the thing, but I cut it wrong. If it's true, the irons were responsible for the blackout, but that shouldn't be the only reason. Okay, I got it. Dang it!
And turn on the irons. How do you intend to take back what you said?
It happened so fast. Ugh. Okay.
People in the dining hall weren't able to cause the irons, then the killer had to
Okay,
go to the
wrong
storage
button.
room and turn
Oh
on
my
the
god, I am the worst at
irons. How do
this.
you intend to take back what you said?
How many times am I gonna have to do this before I get it right?
People in the
Okay.
dining hall weren't able to. If the irons caused the blackout.
Allow me to cut through those words.
Okay, that one was much more difficult. For my own reasons.
One reason the blackout occurred, but they weren't the direct trigger.
Bada bing!
The direct trigger was when the air conditioners in the dining hall and office clicked on.
The air conditioners!
That's right. They conditioned the air to make it cooler.
The timers for both air conditioners were set to 11:30 p.m.
Convenient and very suspicious.
11:30 p.m. Mr. Ham Hands died around that time too.
Very astute of you. I wish you'd say his name properly. He is dead now. The insulting nickname means literally nothing anymore.
I see. When the timers activated the air conditioners, the breaker was tripped and caused a blackout. I see. I understand. Indubitably.
All right, well, at least he's happy to be corrected.
Indubitably?
Indubitably. Man's got a vocabulary. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
They probably checked the old building's energy usage in advance and used the irons to nearly max it out.
What an incredibly specific thing to try and figure out, though.
So once they set the air conditioners' timers, they just had to wait until they started up on their own.
Apparently.
If so, even if Heko was in the office, it still would have been possible to cause a blackout, indubitably.
And she has also taken up the words. Verily.
Indubitably? Miss Sonia, not you too.
There's no shame in expanding on a vocabulary.
Regarding the energy usage, they probably asked Monokuma about it.
I guess.
Dun dun dun. Is she right? Such a hateful stare. You deserve to die 1,000 deaths.
He really does. But I've only ever seen him die like 3 times.
1,000, you say? If I died that many times, I might really stay dead, you know?
Depends how many backups he's got.
Shut up! You guys just stay quiet! I couldn't have prevented the blackout even if I was in the office. Even so, I feel regret.
Yeah, well, that's to be expected. Just try not to beat yourself up over it.
If I was in the office, I could have reset the breaker in time. And maybe the murder wouldn't have occurred.
Well, maybe this, maybe that, maybe everything. You can't live your entire life with maybes.
No, the breaker in the office was built into a high area of the wall that's impossible to reach.
Really bad design, by the way.
Resetting the breaker in that darkness would have been impossible, no matter what.
I suppose that's more likely true. All right, well, credit where credit is due. His explanation would definitely make her feel better than what mine was.
Sounds like you don't need to blame yourself.
Even so, the killer is so sly. I'm starting to worry we may never actually find them.
Oh, we will.
It's alright. You don't have to worry. Because they're just a petty killer, right? They can't defeat symbols of hope like you guys.
You really like to make yourself look suspicious. Eh?
They're There's no way everybody will lose now. This little incident will just be a stepping stone for you all.
Okay.
In the end, hope always wins. That's what I believe.
I believe we're now going to try and steer this thing towards him, and ultimately it's not it's not him.
Nagito? What happened to you?
Huh? What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what you mean.
Well, you have been saying this whole time that there's no way a killer could be among us.
True.
Oh, is that so? Well, let's just put that minor detail aside for now and talk about the incident.
Unless he meant among them, and he doesn't consider himself to be among them. Is that the interpretation I'm supposed to get? Is it supposed to be a verbal loophole?
For now, we found out how the blackout occurred. But the question is, who caused it, right?
I suppose so.
Anybody could have hid and set the timers for the air conditioners. Setting up the irons in the storage room could have been done before Byakuya set foot in the old building. What a shame. Any one of us is capable of that.
No, not so much.
What are you implying?
He's just saying, after all this time, we still haven't made any progress.
Not especially, no. We've just kind of been covering a bunch of the basic stuff.
Huh? Even though we have been arguing for so long?
Roughly 45 minutes by my count.
Fortunately, it's the truth. Despite the fact that we've discussed this at length, there's not even one clue that leads to the killer.
I've got lots of clues.
That might be because there's no way any of us could be a killer.
You're changing your story again?
Incredibly suspicious.
Anyway, I have an idea about what we all should do at this point.
I am listening.
Has anyone thought about our situation like this?
I haven't actually. Good point.
Instead of surviving by doubting others, isn't it better to get killed for believing in others?
Yeah, you said that before, and while I don't see it as an entirely wrong viewpoint, it's an incredibly creepy thing to say.
Doesn't that mean... Are you saying we should all just give up and die?
Nagito, there's definitely something wrong with you.
I'm starting to get that impression too, actually.
You guys only think there's something wrong with me because there's something wrong with you.
Excuse me?
Suspecting each other like this. There's no way that's healthy behavior. Let's stop this already. We don't have to find out who the killer is.
No, we most definitely do, otherwise we're all going to die. What the actual hell are you going on about?
I can't stand this anymore. I don't want to do this to my friends.
Your voice sounds a lot more disingenuous than it does sincere right now.
I don't want to do this either.
Are you trying to make... He's trying to make us give up.
Me too. Please, take me home already. I want to go home and eat candy.
I'm not saying that's not relatable, but you gotta get a grip.
Stop it. If everyone acts like this, I'm gonna...
Frickin' lose her marbles.
Everyone calm down. We're all friends, aren't we? There's no way one friend would murder another.
Now I don't know who did it. Because this is just weird.
Then why did Byakuya die?
Who cares? Let's just give up already.
Okay, now I'm just getting annoyed with you. Could you maybe shut up?
There are no clues that lead to the killer anyway. Not a single one.
I have tons.
That's wrong.
Oh, thank God. Somebody else is saying something.
I think...
Okay. I'll take what I can get.
Did you say something?
Ooh, that's a new one.
Because we've already found a clue that might point to who the killer is.
I'm gonna need a little bit more of a nudge in the direction of which one specifically.
You know who the killer is?
I don't know. Do you?
Killer? I don't know. But we do have a clue about a suspicious person. I think.
You need to stop tacking that on at the end. You're making yourself not sound very convincing.
I see. Then care to tell me, what's this clue you're talking about?
It would be pretty great if somebody other than me contributed.
First of all, let's try thinking about how the killer was able to obtain the knife during the blackout.
Okay.
Didn't we already cover that? They use glowing paint as a mark.
Okay, but are we actually gonna talk about the theory I had?
No, not that. I mean before that.
Before? There we go. Is she asking how the killer got close to that table? Even if they had to obtain the knife by relying on the glow from the paint, in order to do that, they need to get close to that table while it was still dark.
Let's try examining the situation. My hero's diagram might be useful.
There it is!
The diagram of where everyone was standing before the blackout, right? Here it is.
I wish it was in my inventory, but I'll take it here now too. Look who was closest to the table. Just as I thought, this diagram is the clue. Who the killer is and how they were able to move to the table in the dark, that's clearly shown in this diagram. First, we need to discuss how the killer was able to move to that table in the dark. I know what it is. The killer probably used something to help them move in the dark. It's why it got brought up and was even drawn on the thing. Spot selection. All right. Well, I suppose technically it would be this. This right here. Otherwise, why include it on the diagram?
Desk lamp to move to that table in the dark.
Desk lamp? I hope you don't mean they turned on a light or something.
I am no fool.
There was a blackout. There's no way the killer could have used the desk lamp.
If you were uncreative and didn't want to think that hard about it, maybe. Of course, there's no way they used the desk lamp light. The killer actually used the power cord.
Prove it with this.
Check this noise.
They didn't turn the desk lamp on. They used its power cord.
Power cord.
They could have felt their way to that table using the power cord, right?
Yeah.
By doing that, the killer was able to move to the table and use the glowing paint to find the knife.
And there's only one person here who could have done that.
The one standing closest to it. But then again, is this all a red herring? But then now he's white. Now he's specifically trying to act really weird and make everybody give up. This is very weird. All right, the only person here who could have possibly done it. Oh boy, here we go.
You're the only one! Nagito, it was you, wasn't it?
Mind explaining yourself a little?
Me?
You!
Judging from everyone's positions before the blackout, the only person near the power cord was you.
Which means the only one who could have felt their way to the table using the power cord was Nagito.
Then again, we are still going off the basis that the knife was the murder weapon.
That's just a coincidence.
Sure it was. And graham crackers are made out of cellulite.
But still, you had a chance, right? A chance to hide the knife under the table?
Yeah. Here we go. All right, she gets it. Okay, see, I mean, I should have put more chips on Chiaki. Nagito's chance to hide the knife under the table was when he was cleaning, which he also suggested.
Weren't you cleaning the dining hall all morning?
And again, I don't remember clearly, but I think he might have recommended me using that building in the first place as well. So not only is he the one who wanted to use that building, he's also the one who could have possibly rigged the system so that he was the one who cleaned it, which means he could have also been the one who ultimately set everything up just the way he needed it in order to make this happen.
If so, you would have had a chance to hide the knife.
That's...
If you factor in the power cord and the time you spent cleaning, you're the only one who could have done it.
So, if by some chance I'm completely wrong, which I feel like I kind of have to because I have all this other evidence that supports the idea that you didn't do anything, I'd kind of like to hear it.
Seriously? That's all just a coincidence.
Okay, but you do realize that's not a defense, right?
If it was just one coincidence, it'd be fine. But when it's one right after another,
When there's at least 3 coincidences, it's not one of those anymore.
I wonder, is something like that even possible?
Nay, I'd say it's improbable.
Could it be? Did you give yourself cleaning duty on purpose so you could hide the knife under the table?
Now that you mention it, Nagito did prepare the drawing to pick who cleaned the dining hall.
All right, we're actually getting through this stuff. To be honest, I already prepared a drawing because I assumed something like this would happen. To go to the trouble of preparing this, just what did you think would happen? Whoever draws the chopstick with the red mark on it will be in charge of cleaning, okay? Does that sound fair?
You rigged the drawing, didn't you? That's how you got picked to clean the dining hall, isn't it?
Boom! What you gonna say?
I don't know if you're the killer or not, but regardless, it proves that you're suspicious, right?
If literally nothing else, yeah.
If that's the case, That strange speech you made earlier, that was part of your plan too.
Get everybody to give up so they wouldn't assume it was you, and get everybody killed, and leave.
You got us to lower our guard and tried to hide the fact that you did it, didn't you, you motherfucker?
All right, well, you don't have to get that crass about it, but possibly.
Well, just admit it already.
Nagito, tell me you object to this. Frankly, I don't want to believe it either. We investigated together. You were so kind. I can't believe you're the one who killed Byakuya.
So, explain. Is literally all of this other evidence completely pointless? That sounded more like a giggle.
Nagito, say something.
He is laughing. Well, that's mildly horrific.
The Ultimates are working together to combat the despair of their friend's death. How wonderful. How beautiful it is.
Excuse me?
Huh?
Those eyes. At that moment, Nagito's eyes. The darkness in his eyes shone brightly, as if layers upon layers of darkness were folding into each other. Frankly, I don't understand how it was biologically possible to do what he was doing. You know what? That looked almost identical to... I don't know, am I allowed to spoil the ending of the first game? Well, I don't know if I can or not, but let's just say it looked a lot like the ultimate bad guy of the first game's eyes did when everything fell through for them.
Let's cut to the chase. You're correct. It was my doing all along.
Please stop having that face.
I'm the one who hid the knife under the table before the party started. I'm the one who used the power cord to find my way to the table in the dark. And of course, I'm the one who caused the blackout.
But you haven't said that you're the one who killed anyone yet.
After all, there's no way I'd knowingly whip out a knife in front of everyone, right?
I knew you were creepily suspicious. It's exactly like this kind of game in order to take basically what was Makoto and flip it on its head into some sort of weird nega self.
Is it just me, or does he seem a little nuts right now?
No, he's full on pistachios. We're almost to macadamia here.
But I never expected Byakuya to have night vision goggles. Because of that, we had ourselves a little scuffle under the table. And, well, you all saw how that went.
That would explain the ow I heard.
Twist ending like this, I think we can all agree this ended up being a very interesting mystery.
I feel like this was all too simple, and again, I've got so much more evidence.
Byakuya performed admirably.
Just stop it already. Seriously. What the hell happened to you?
I'm getting the impression that nothing happened to him, and he was just kind of decent at hiding it until now.
Don't tell me. Is this your true nature? Were you lying to us this entire time?
Sure seems possible.
Lie? That's outrageous. There's no way someone like me could ever lie to you guys. I understand better than anyone else that I'm ultimately worthless. Too arrogant to have dreams or cling to hope. Too disdainful to actually try at anything. I've made peace with the fact that I'm a lowly, stupid, insignificant human who can't do anything right.
Holy crap.
Holy crap! He's totally the type of guy who spent his childhood killing neighborhood pets!
I mean, you're not wrong.
He seems like the sort of person whose eyes light up while watching Friday the 13th. Just like me.
Okay, well, putting that aside.
That's quite the hobby you have there. But, like, now's not really the time to bring it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with that one. This guy, is he the real Nagito?
Hey, Nagito. If you were behind all of this, then did you also send that threatening letter?
Yep, I sure did.
I mean, it would make the most sense.
There's nobody else on this island whose handwriting is that painful to look at, right?
It's so weird to hear somebody use self-deprecation in such a malicious way. I'm not used to it. It's kind of freaking me out. Also, that's legitimately her handwriting? Looks like somebody wrote it specifically to make it not have handwriting.
But why would you send a threatening letter in the first place?
Probably to manipulate the area so that it would be easier to do what he was doing.
I think somewhere deep in my heart, I was probably hoping to find someone who would stop my evil deeds.
Well, that just doesn't sound true at all.
Well, I bet if that really was my reason, at least some of you would feel sorry for me.
Uh-huh.
Are you making fun of us?
I think he might in a certain way.
By threatening Byakuya, Nagito was likely able to manipulate his actions.
Get everything going in the path he wanted. It made sense. Then how about that old-looking building near the hotel? Yep, he did suggest it. Well, if it's just cleaning, leave it to me.
In doing so, Nagito was able to manipulate everyone to the scene where the murder would occur. Am I wrong?
Gonna say no to that.
That reminds me. Nagito was the one who suggested I guard the office.
It all lines up. But we know that it can't be the murder weapon, so... Okay, well, I mean... Is it possible that he intended to do it, but didn't? And it just so happens that someone else also did? No, that wouldn't make any sense, because... Yeah, actually, no, that doesn't make any sense at all. Even if my backup guy, why would... Because then, how would they even know about the paint or anything? That doesn't... Yeah, no, now I'm completely confused. It's busy cleaning the dining hall and all that good stuff. In that case, why didn't she guard the case in the office?
Oh, I get it. If Pekka was guarding the storage room, Nagito wouldn't have been able to use the iron.
Okay, yeah, that does make sense.
Threatening letter, along with all your suggestions. It was all a trap to manipulate us.
I mean, I gotta give credit where credit is due. That's a pretty diabolical plan that really almost worked.
Yep, that's true too. But you're wrong about one thing.
And that one thing is...
Huh? What?
I didn't need to rig the drawing for cleaning duty, you know?
Okay.
If that's true, then how did you conveniently get picked for cleaning duty?
Oh my god, is it because he was lucky?
I see. Well, there's no way I'd expect you to remember it. A worthless talent for a worthless human.
Yeah, okay, get off the pity train. We're trying to get a conversation going. Nagito's talent. I believe his talent is... luck. Okay, I guess ultimate but specifically, it's lucky.
The ultimate lucky student. Then, did you?
Just give it up to chance?
That's right. I just trusted my luck. I trusted I'd be picked for cleaning duty.
Well, that's just weird.
You just relied on your luck?
It's not just luck. It's true my talent sucks. But I'm still the ultimate lucky student, you know?
How is that a bad talent? If things just work out for you ultimately in the end, no matter what. Why would you say that sucks? Someone called the ultimate lucky student. You don't seem very lucky right now.
At the time, Hajime said I wasn't lucky. But it was actually the opposite.
This is very odd to me.
I was lucky. That's why I got picked for cleaning duty. Just like I wanted.
Yeah, that's a bit of a... I admit, yeah, that's a bit of a shock. You gonna be okay there?
I don't care about that anymore. More importantly, why did you kill Byakuya? Answer me!
Byakuya was a very capable leader. For someone like him to get killed, the despair brings.
This is so weird!
It's only fitting that you symbols of hope should use his death as a stepping stone to shine even brighter.
It's like he's using Makoto's whole spiel, but perverting it into the opposite direction somehow.
That was my only motivation.
How did you manage to do that? How do you take a concept like hope and make it a bad thing? I'm almost impressed, but I'm more bewildered.
You're not making any sense!
Fine, let's start the damn vote already. I'm ready to fucking kill this site.
Fair enough, but ultimately I'm gonna have to say no.
Please, Monokuma! Please, wait!
Huh? The fuck?
Oh boy.
How should I put this?
You're gonna get yelled at. Okay, see, there we go. The shoes are dropping.
What are you saying? He's already confessed, hasn't he?
He actually hasn't specifically said that he did it.
I already know that, but there's just something a little strange.
Oh boy.
If it's only a little, then keep your mouth shut. Your ugly face is stressing me out. It makes me want to puke.
You know what? Go ahead. Just please face the other direction. I'd rather not have anybody have to step in it.
I'm sorry.
Quit your apologizing and get to the point.
For now, might I suggest we listen to what she has to say?
Thank you, Sonia.
But we know who the killer is.
No, I've got too much evidence.
Simply listening is acceptable. However, I won't allow this to end with mere play. Now then, let us lift the curtain for our bloody spectacle.
Good lord, Gundam doesn't turn it down from 11 at any given moment in time, does he? From this point on, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if they touch these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. Okay, that's from before. Please time your truth bullets just right so they won't get interrupted by white noise. By the way, if the difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. In that case, all it means is the explanation didn't mean anything at all. It had no meaning whatsoever. No, please don't worry. I'm not going to fall into despair. Okay, even though it's meaningless, allow me to say one more thing. In this debate, you won't be able to shoot down the white noise. That'll be explained later. But if you press the start button during that, you can review the controls. Good luck, have fun with all that stuff. Okay, I don't have a start button. I have the escape key. Why'd you change it? All right, so the autopsy report. I think that's probably where we're gonna have to go with it, and agree with her.
I think it's strange that...
The killer is so obviously Nagito!
Oh, great. No one's actually going to freaking...
He has already confessed.
Come on, guys.
You know...
Let her say a thing!
That bastard Nagito is the one who did it.
But I don't think he did!
He killed Byakuya with a knife he hid.
Wait.
No, that's wrong.
I thought I was gonna have to agree with something she had to say, but it was not the case.
That knife might not be the murder weapon. That's what you wanted to say, right, Mikon?
Thank God someone else was here that actually wanted to figure that out.
What the hell are you talking about? It's obvious the knife was the murder weapon.
It would have been. That would have made sense.
Based on the entry clues on Byakuya's body, the actual weapon should be roughly 5 millimeters in diameter. 5 millimeters in diameter? That's like way skinnier than a knife.
By a very wide margin. Ironically wide.
Hey, that better be true. If you screwed up, I'll sell your fucking ass to a whorehouse.
Okay, first of all, I'm gonna need you to knock that off right here and now. Seriously. On one hand, I kind of found your whole shtick charming, but if you're actually gonna go ahead and threaten people with things like that, I'm gonna have to ask you to not. Believe it or not, despite my lackadaisical attitude towards a lot of things, I've actually got a lot of foibles here, okay? There's a limit. Don't cross my limit.
Not a whorehouse. Hey, why are you threatening her?
Because it's all he knows. It's a friggin' Yakuza. That's just a life he lives.
Is this what you're trying to say, Mikon? As long as we can't prove that the knife is the murder weapon, we can't assume that I'm the killer.
Also, I think I meant scruples, not foibles.
What are you saying? No one else can be the killer. It has to be you.
And now I have to prove that it's not.
Hey, don't blame me. Mikon's the one who said it.
Sorry.
Great. The most convincing of arguments. And I have to somehow bolster it. Or maybe Chiaki will help. That'd be nice.
Hey, Nagito. Are you still hiding something?
Probably.
Hiding?
Like, during the blackout, did something happen between you and Byakuya that we don't know about?
Who knows?
Now that's helpful.
After all this, what else do you intend to hide?
Jeez, the moment your back's against the wall, you get all silent. You piss me off.
I'm starting to get that way too. Stop making me agree with Hiyoko.
What happened during the blackout?
Ibuki, you know what happened.
If you cross your eyes like this, it gives you double vision.
Thank you for the levity, but right now we're trying to make progress.
Don't get distracted. Our lives are at stake, you know?
Gonna have to agree.
Huh? Whose life is at stake?
Akane, please. Seriously, I want to like you, so please don't do that.
Seriously, how long is it gonna take for you to understand the damn rules?
Nobody can see in the dark, no matter how hard you think about it. The truth is beyond your sight. Don't you think that's a pretty clever metaphor? Despite the fact that it came from me?
It's not really a metaphor, it's more of an accurate description of the events.
No, that's not it. Not it? What's not it?
The truth is beyond our sight. No, that can't be. There should be some way to find out what happened in the dark. That would be...
I can prove it with this.
Ibuki, use your all-knowing ear holes.
I'm pretty sure someone could have heard it. Isn't that right, Ibuki?
Oh, real?
She doesn't take anything seriously ever, does she? Don't act so surprised.
You were the one who told me, remember? Where everyone was shouting during the blackout?
Everyone, calm down. We gotta stay calm in a situation like this.
Yee.
Ah! Don't step on my feet!
What the hell? What's going on here? This is...
That would probably be him seeing it.
Ow!
And that would be the conflict.
Turn the damn lights on. I can't eat like this, you know.
You guys? Where are you? Wasn't the blackout just in the kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the breaker overloaded?
Hold on a sec. I'll go along the wall and do something about it.
Such perceptive hearing. Impressive. I'd expect no less from the ultimate musician.
It's a good thing your ears are awesome because your face, style, figure, and personality totally suck.
It's kind of hilarious that you would say that, given quite literally your face, style, figure, and personality. Look, just because I'm going to give you some leeway because you are obviously in an incredibly bad way in your life to ultimately end up like this, doesn't mean I'm not going to call you out on being an asshole.
You've got me deep with your knife of truth.
Then again, I guess Ibuki isn't going to take it that hard. Maybe I should let it slide.
However, after hearing what Byakuya and Nagito said in the dark...
What the hell? What's going on here? This is...
Ow!
It almost sounds like Byakuya fought back against Nagito or something.
That sounds to be the case.
Well, that's actually what happened. As a sign of respect for Ibuki's talent, I have a small confession to make.
Well, you already said you had a scuffle.
I was actually shoved out from under the table by Byakuya.
He shoved you out?
Just as the blackout occurred, I hurried to duck under the table and grab the knife. But Byakuya, wearing his night vision goggles, caught me and shoved me right out from under the table.
Huh.
That's right. I'm so incompetent that I couldn't even grab the knife.
Please stop saying things with that particular expression. It's very unnerving. So Byakuya stopped him when he was trying to get the knife. And he got shoved out from under the table before he could even grab it? Well, it sounds plausible. I mean, just from listening to what they both said at the time. Here it is again, in case you didn't remember it from the third or fourth time you've had to hear it. Yes, thank you. I could interpret it like that. No, actually, now that I think about it, that sounds like exactly what happened.
After getting shoved out from under the table, I was just as confused as you guys. I lost sight of the glowing paint. I didn't even know where the power cord was. Before I realized it, the lights had come back on. Byakuya's body was lying on the table.
So you were going to murder somebody, but you didn't. And then someone else did. But how would they know of any of the things in order to do any of that?
Hold on. Are you saying you're not the killer?
This is very odd.
From the very beginning, the idea to throw a party, hiding the knife, setting up the blackout, it was all going according to plan. But unfortunately, my plan failed. And all thanks to Byakuya's night vision goggles. What happened after that? Even I don't know.
That's incredibly frustrating, I want to point out.
You failed? Then you're not the one who killed Byakuya?
Then we're right back to square one.
Technically, yes, but we have managed to close a lot of loopholes and brought up a bunch of stuff, and I've burned through a good chunk of my inventory. So really, the only stuff that's left should be able to get us to where we need to go.
How can that be? We spent all this time talking back and forth.
About an hour 15 by my count.
What other word is brimming with so much despair?
I don't want to hear that from you.
But you can't give up. You need to have hope. Do your best and move forward.
Ugh, you make it all so creepy.
Rising to the challenge again and again is why you guys are the symbols of hope.
Hajime has very much had enough of this. Is Nagito really not the killer? Is this guy really the Nagito I knew before? No, there's no way I can say that. I just thought I knew him, but this whole time I didn't know anything about this guy. I didn't know his true character. I mean, that's a pretty strong parallel to the first game. We thought we knew somebody, turns out we didn't, and boy did that cost us. But now's not the time for me to dwell on that. We need to find Byakuya's killer by any means possible. Because if we don't, we will die here. I see.
Well now.
Okay, wasn't expecting this. Now then, the class trial has reached its climax, but... Okay, here's a question for you. What's this? To those of you who figured out who it is, how about you try out the Guess the Killer challenge? Whoever fails to guess the right killer will have their save data melt away like butter. Please don't mention butter, that's an incredibly sore subject, and you know it! But if you guess right, I'll reward you with $10 billion. You can't do that, you're a video game. 10 billion? Of course, for those of you who don't know who the killer is, you can just continue on.
Now then,
What
are
do
you gonna do?
Well, I mean, if it isn't Nagito, then it has to be... It would have to be Teruteru. It's the only one the evidence stacks up to. Left mouse button continue or B? Guess the... But I don't have a B button. What would the B button be? Ah, dang it, I thought I might have actually figured... Okay, you know what, whatever. Just kidding, you can't make a choice. That's kind of what I figured. There's no way you'd be able to guess who the killer is. Except for the fact that I just did.
And of course, there's no $10 billion either.
Well, I already knew that was never gonna happen. I'm not dumb.
You're so evil.
Well, yeah, that's kind of his entire thing. Whew, boy. Wow. Man, I don't even remember. Did the first game give me breaks in between these things? Well, I can't say I know. Either way, well, I'm obviously going to keep going, but I think this is... I mean, if it's going to give me the opportunity, I might as well break it up. I hope you guys enjoyed what we just went through. That was a bit of a roller coaster and a half, if there ever was one. And in the next part, I assume we're going to make all of this get figured out. I'll see you then. But for me, it'll be 5 seconds. Very strange situation, this is.